Anyways, guys, it's the FA podcast, the podcast that brings you post-nut clarity at the start of your nut. Have you guys ever seen that PSP commercials where like it's squirrels advertising the PSP, the PlayStation Portable, and it's all like, hey, like you want to play with nut? And it's like, I got a nut, but I got a PSP. It's like a nut. You could play outside. This literally was the commercial. I'm not making this up. They just kept saying nuts.
Don't doubt it, but I don't remember that commercial.
Yeah, because it was stupid marketing. You remember that, Weston? You remember the nut commercial?
Yeah, but he's like, I can't. I got nuts.
You're
telling me to go outside. Like, I can't. I got nuts.
He's like nuts that you could play. Yeah, so I got nuts. It's all nuts. We got post nut clarity here. Yes, as always, I'm Manuel, the internet's favorite nut cryptid. I am a big walking walnut.
All right, let's see.
And joining me as always is Walnut Head. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Walnut Head Jordan.
I'm Jordan, or KitchenCatSoup. I am the artist of this segment of the show.
Is this dude in the shower?
Yeah, he's probably in the shower. I forgot to make the shower head. Hold on, let's see. There you go.
Culo.
You know, he's waiting. He's waiting to fight someone.
He's so buff.
He's waiting to fight someone. He got jacked just to fight someone in the shower. Yeah, and then we have joining us for this segment is Weston.
Hey people, what's up? What's up? It's Mr. West, aka the meat popsicle of the nuts.
The meat popsicle? It's a three-peat.
It sounds disgusting.
It's funny because technically the I had been mentioning that there was a host we were going to have on for a while, and their schedule cleared up because we skipped so many times. We skipped once, but then, you know, all the weeks in between. So their schedule cleared up, and I was like, oh, we can have them on. But then I was like, me and Weston were joking about it would have been a three-peat if you would have been on. So Weston's back, and we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff tonight. We have news, we have blues, and we have all the feet twos. I thought I could find a way to remind.
Yeah, you are you happy with that? Are you?
I'm not, but I'm gonna pretend that was exactly how I meant that joke to go. I was gonna make a joke because I mentioned I was gonna open the outline and never did. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I mentioned in the past this was gonna be our little fetishy episode. That'll be our quasi main topic tonight. And honestly, I'm gonna be straight up with you. We're gonna talk about feet most of the tonight, because this is a deep rabbit hole, and but we're talking about other stuff too. It's a feet hole. Rabbits have big feet.
Lucky rabbit feet.
Yeah, lucky rabbit feet. There you go. Is that why people carry them around? No, I'm just kidding. And then we have some other shit. We're talking about some our usual recommendations, and like I mentioned, we have some new shit. But real fast, I wanted to go back to something we were talking about before we went live, and I said just to rush it into it. Man, isn't it crazy? Kind of like, I know we're still in the pandemic, but isn't it crazy? Kind of coming out of it. I like the other day, I was like, I think I was wasted or something, but I was just like, it just hit me. I'm like, all my all my last memories of doing anything fun, ALA excluded, I guess, all end in 2019, and I'm like, wow, that was a lifetime ago. Like 2019,
a whole year ago, not like a lifetime
ago. That was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, for a boomer, it's like a decade.
No, and like I haven't like done anything really since the summer of 2019. Or I went to cons and stuff, but like that's the hilarious part. Like I mentioned it before, but even before and after ALA, sorta, I was very hermity and I was like working on stuff. So like I had those months were kind of lost to me too. It's just like, oh shit, what have I done with my life for 2 years? I lost 2 years of my life. It's like. None of this matters. Fuck FA podcast. Fuck UPC. Fuck DC. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Anyways, don't you guys feel that way? Or is that just me?
Probably just you. I mean, like, I'm a hermit. Like, I'm an introvert, so I stay inside majority of the time. So I can't really tell you, that I relate. But I guess in some way I did. It was very interesting, like having to stay inside the whole time and not really go out and do things like if I wanted to, that kind of thing. So I can see where you're coming from.
Rest in peace, my sanity and my productive life.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it feels weird trying to go back to doing things. I'm like, I need a haircut. I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of have already, but like, if I really wanted to go to things where like take a selfie again, it's like I should make myself a little more presentable, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Well,
I don't know, man.
One of the great things that I think I've learned how to do is cut my own hair, and because like I'm not precious with my hairstyle. Like, I just need to get it cut so it's nice and cool during the summertime, like right now. So
it's hot.
It is.
But yeah, it's hot boy summer.
Hot.
It's hot shower boy summer. So we're gonna be talking about hot fetishy things. But first of all, I want to point out that we did skip last time. Something came up. It was pretty legit. Something came up. So so we had to, it's been a month since we did the FA podcast. But I also wanted to mention that we're kind of locking in this alternate Friday, because starting next Friday and then every other Friday, you know, the opposites of FAP, will be a new thing called Drink Talk Roll, which is our D&D live play / podcast. So tune into that next Friday. And
who will be starring in that, Manuel?
It'll be myself, it'll be How, it'll be Pleiades, and it'll be Warren.
Oh, nice.
So it'll be it's our little foursome there, and 3 players, 1 DM. It'll be interesting. And Pleiades will be kicking off DMing the first round. It's funny because we had a lot of trouble picking who was in the DM. Because like I was like, I don't care who, because it kind of seemed like everyone wanted to, but me. I'm like, I don't want to. Whoever really wants to can do it. Then we can trade off. So Pleiades will do it first, and we haven't decided yet. We're gonna obviously get the feel for things, and then maybe we'll start an actual like long running campaign. But I think it's gonna be one-offs for a bit. But there's that. So yeah, this is episode 10 of the FA podcast. We hit the big 1-0, and yeah. So hopefully this all stays normal.
It won't.
So it won't. I mean, this will all go to shit later on. Rip. The bot commands channel is available. Oh, what is this? Did you add a command to Rip? But anyway, the chat's open. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, then sub to us. And
if you're on YouTube, leave a comment to see what I should draw right now.
Yeah, right now, let us know, and we might pick your drawing. And who knows? Like, come on, smash that like. You ever watch those videos where they're opening a mystery box? It's like, smash that like button if you like, and I'll open it. I'll get the power to open it. And like, I'm like, does that work? But then you look at the likes, and the video has like 500,000 likes. I'm like, I guess it does.
Oh yeah,
I
there you
guess
go.
It does.
Oh my god.
Hey, dude, want a shower? What is this?
It's a buddy want to shower. I guess my comic handwriting isn't that great, but you know I am.
But
there you go.
But yeah, if you want us to draw anything, you can let us know. If not, we're gonna draw feet. I mean, this homeboy's feet are out. He's ready to foot shuffle.
Oh, man, if I have to draw feet, that means I have to draw like a pose, and man, that's gonna be rough. But like, I'll try.
You can draw someone washing their feet, or like you can draw someone washing their feet, but you don't see the feet because they're like in a basin, and it's like a cop out.
No. I'll draw the feet. I know how to look at these feet I drew.
Hey, look at these awesome feet. Yeah. I'm one of those people who, whenever I would draw pictures, when I get to the hands and the feet, it's like, fuck. And it's all like, you know, just you can't see what I'm doing, but it's just like, just draw like 5 little, like, you know, like the way you draw like those noses that are really long.
Oh yeah,
it's like the long round nose. It's like 5 of those. 5. Like just 5 of those, and there you go. It's like, and it doesn't matter how good the drawing looks, the hands and the feet just like,
yeah, because like, the face is the one thing you want to work on first, because that's where people look first. So I'll just make a really detailed face, and then when it gets to the body, the hands will just be like, you know, like turkey hands like this or something, like, you know, like that.
Are you a turkey?
This is a hand, and this is a feet.
This is a hand. There you go.
This is what they'll look like.
Let's go.
Right. So
but
I guess
so
just draw anything.
Feet, if there's anything, I think take a look at here real fast and make sure everything open. Sorry, I'm still a little discombobulated because I didn't really set everything up the way I usually do before we went live.
All right,
but yeah,
ready.
It's hot boy summer. We're talking about fetishy things, and the reason I kind of thought about this is it came to my attention again, and I don't want to out anyone, so I won't. I don't think anyone knows them anyway, but I don't want to out anyone. But it came to my attention again that feet fetishy things are a thing, and that a lot of people have them. And do you have a foot fetish? Do you like feet? We put it like that. I called you Warren. Do you have a feet, Jordan?
No, I don't. I do not have any fetishes.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I mentioned it on a past podcast that it's a very it's not even a fetish, but a very specific thing I like are high ponytails, which I don't know if there's a word for that. Do you call it a high tail at some point?
That's not a fetish. It's more like a preference. Yeah,
preference is the way. Yeah, yeah, and that's probably the closest thing I have, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't really what about you, Wes? Do you like feet?
I'm pretty much on. From what hearing from you guys, I think I have a better hardcore fetish than feet, but I don't want to discuss that. We'll probably discuss it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
but for the feet, for hanging around people who have feet fetishes, they usually like the style of it being painted, or the style of the shoe or the heel when it's dressed. Like they're like, oh, that looks nice. That's like from foot fetish people who they admire it, and then there's people like, oh, I want to touch it. And then it gets more creepier into the details.
The crazy thing is, when I was really young, and I mean really young, by the way, like elementary school young, I remember perhaps with some of the other boys who were just started to hit puberty before me or whatever the hell. I just remember there was a point when some little group of friends I hung out with, or were friends of friends, were mentioning they liked feet, and I remember like a lot of kids at our age, we would watch porn. I mean, does that sound weird? I don't know if that we would talk about porn we watch. We're like, ooh, somebody brought a naked magazine to school today. Remember magazines? But I remember
Sears catalog. Let's go.
No, I remember very early on there was this group of kids who were more interested in the feet than they were anything else. And then flash forward to a few years later, I mentioned this in the past DTL, and I mentioned it in the chat. But a few years later, one of my friends, he was gay, and he didn't want to let his parents know he was. Well, it's twofold. He didn't want to order porn to his house. He didn't want to let his parents know he was gay, so he would order porn to my house, and gay porn, I should mention. And I didn't really know what it was at first, and then I was like, oh, it's gay foot fetish porn. And then at one point they sent a catalog, and the catalog was just a catalog in the mail. It wasn't an envelope. So my mom was like, what is this? Why is it addressed to you? What the fuck? But she didn't really care. It was just
she was just
it was kind of, are you gay kind of thing? And I was just it's for a friend. Which I didn't believe that, but whatever, it really was. But my point is, I was telling this story to other friends of mine, even one of my then best friend. I'll never forget. I'm not gonna lie, especially when I was young, I was being more rude about the stuff, but the friend who was sending the porn to my house was watching. And the series was called My Friend's Feet. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that title. But I remember I was going on about and it couldn't just be gay porn. It had to be gay feet porn. And my friend who was seemed like he wasn't listening up to this point, turns around and looks at me, and he's all like, "You don't like feet?" And it was so wild to me because, first of all, I love the implication that nothing was wrong about he probably would watch the gay feet porn and be like, this is just feet. I'm down with this, until other things pop out. Because that was the part that he seemed shocked that I was like mostly offended by. But then he was just in general. I was like, wait, you do? And I mentioned this part, and I kind of did like an informal survey. Like I always do this all the time, like kind of the way I did right now a minute ago. And amongst my friend group, I was the only one who didn't like feet.
I wonder why. Like,
and I'm not 100% sure about it today. Also, I want to mention, I think it was something to do with age group, but then again, no, it can't be, because like that's a millennial Zoomer thing too, about like gamer girl feet, and that's the other thing. Now it's like in memes, but nobody really. It's like this weird. It's like a fetish that I think a lot of people have, but it's never really openly discussed.
Well, here's the thing about it too. It's just that in this day and age where everything is easily accessible and everyone posts whatever their thoughts are online. Back then, you couldn't really get that information out. You didn't know who was into what or this and that because no one was posting it on Facebook or MySpace or whatever. But nowadays, like you start to hear like, oh yeah, there's all these people. There's like all these different things that people didn't really realize, and I can now imagine that feet, is very popular amongst everyone or a lot of people. What was the implication? What was the reason why he enjoyed that?
He just liked feet, and like the particular video, and I only know this because at one point, like he my then girlfriend at the time wanted to watch one of the videos because he came to pick it up. Mm-hmm. And like, by the way, this was on VHS. How long ago this was? And my then girlfriend wanted to watch it, so I was like, fine, we can put this on, and we put it on. And you ever watch the King of the Hill episode when like Peggy ends up in a foot fetish site and doesn't realize it?
I don't remember that. I think I do, but I don't.
Have you seen it, Wes?
I referenced it for you earlier.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's the one where they like she's getting her feet clean. I think she might have getting them spanked, or she's like stepping in food and whatever. And that's what most of this. That's what most of this was. And it's funny because to me that's kind of like you said, there really are two different levels to this, because there are people who just want to see a foot pic and just be like,
and they're good, like they're done.
Yeah, but there's people who want to see things happen to the feet, and that's what this video was, by the way.
Happen to the feet?
Mainly, like it's like, oh, here are your feet. Let's like throw some. I don't know. This sounds disgusting. And to be honest, it was to me. But I don't want to knock anyone if this is your thing. But it's like, let's throw some like beans on them and then start walking in them. And look how dirty your feet are.
That's kind of weird to me. I don't care who I knock around.
I mean, it really is. But it's like it's consenting adult. I don't want to But it is really weird.
It's really it's kind of normal because it's like. I'll use, for instance, whipped cream. Like a lot of people use whipped cream.
Yeah, so I guess.
So it's like the food kind of thing, kind of like it's weird, but then again, it's like there's other foods that.
But it's also like the part of the body that touches like places with more like germs a lot or quite often.
It's like I'm pretty sure there's some subconscious thing about this. It's funny, that reminds me of something real fast. I used to have this friend of mine who used to like do he used to work on some softcore porn productions for cable or whatever, and not the big guy that I did my DTL on, but a much smaller fish in the pond. A guy I went to guy I went to film school with a long time ago. He used to have an obsession with chocolate syrup. And I just remember like everything would always turn into like girls cover themselves with chocolate syrup, and like to be honest, to this day, if I see a chocolate syrup scene, it's probably his, because it's like, I'm like, who else has a chocolate syrup fetish? But then again, maybe everyone does. I don't know. But my point is, he also had a foot fetish, and he would have. I think he even did like one was like, oh, look at that syrup on the feet, and it's like, I don't know. I once again, I don't want to rag on it, but I really don't understand. It's like,
but see,
how do you see that?
I thought the extent to that was more like, that they use the feet to do all this other stuff, not put food on it and things.
That's the other half. The other half, people are like, oh yeah, give me a foot job, which something I did not learn about, and surprisingly, I did not learn about that until I was a lot older, like in my adult years, Like that didn't come up with my friends. Like nobody mentioned foot jobs or whatever. How do you ask for a foot job? I mean, like,
man, you just ask. It's just like you rub it with your feet.
Wes over here, he jumped out with just ask. Like, just. I mean, that is the simple answer, but it's just like
simple answer is communication. So
exactly, that is true.
Just you ask and you be consent and wise. Like, hey, can you do it? Yes or no? Then move on.
Yeah, it's like, nah, I was like, it's cool, man. But yeah, because I'm not, throughout the years, whenever I would watch, like, this is for a lot of fetishes too. You get a lot, I mean, feet, I don't think exist so much in JV, but you get a lot of other weird fetishes in JV. So a lot of times I'll be watching a scene, but you do see the, and I'll get taken out by a fetish. In a lot of scenes you'll see, like, you know, in the, what they call gonzo, like, you know, like the Pornhubby type scenes where it's like people just filming with their iPhones.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes like that, it'll take me right out of it when they start doing like a foot job or a very footy thing. It's like, oh, let me just play with your thing with my feet, and it's all like, oh yeah, turn this shit off.
Because that can't be comfortable either, right? I mean, I guess it depends on the person, but I don't think that's comfortable.
I don't know. And then it gets more extreme, obviously. We're not going to the more extreme parts, but then you just like, yeah, use that foot and just like smash. But let's not go into that. But that's another. Honestly, that crosses like a million little fetishes, you know, along the lines. I think there's. Oh wait, I think there's a theory that part of the brain that controls like genital sexual arousal to them is right next to the part connected with feet. So it's just a minor cross. See, I wonder if there's something like that, because it's like Jordan was saying earlier, like it doesn't strike me as something that would be like normal. I don't want to say normal, like you're not normal, bro. But then again, it is really common.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I get the feeling that a lot of people, when they talk about it, like a friend of mine, and I soft mentioned this earlier, but it got brought up again because a friend of mine was really into like feet thingies, and they were getting some feet things off of someone. And for the record, it's not that big of a deal. Like I've mentioned in the past, we've had many guests on UPZ and DTL and other A to J shows who have like OnlyFans accounts, and they will specifically mention, "Hey, buy my feet pics, you know, do you know, so and so feet thing." So it's there, and some of these girls are making money off of it. So I'm not, you know,
it's like to each their own, you know. There's a they're branching out into the market. They know.
So I also want to point out that I know people on the other side of it too. But anyways, a friend of mine was talking about buying feet. I keep saying feet thingies. I don't know. That sounds weird. But feet photos. I guess you should say straight out photos and/or videos from somebody on OnlyFans. Not one of those girls. But anyways, not that it would matter because it's like, you know. But just
I mean,
anyways,
support local businesses.
Yeah, it's actually funny because we had Hina on earlier. We're having Hina on next week on UPZ, but when she was on last, she was all like, it was like at the height of the pandemic too. She's like, support local businesses, like, you know, go pay to see your friend's butthole. And she was saying this about, like, you know, joining her OnlyFans.
Go check out their live streams, support them, leave a comment on their videos. So
yeah, go buy Ren's feet pics. Anyway.
I already did.
It's actually funny because like the other day, like, go support Ren, by the way, specifically because she's trying to raise money for her rabbit head surgery and a bunch of like crazy vet bills.
What's the account?
It's so Ren Bunny, RENBUNNI. It's Ren Bunny, on OnlyFans. No E, RENBUNNI. And it's funny because she was raising money by doing fan signs, like, you know, she just like wears a cute outfit that she put your name on it.
Yeah.
And I bought one, but I guess it was the first time interacting with my OnlyFans account, and my OnlyFans account is my real account name. It's like, you know, Alame222. Like, I have no chill. I don't hide it. And it's just like, she was like, man, I'm like, yeah, just like I'm helping out the homie. You know?
Yeah, I try to help you out.
Like,
and I'm pretty sure she already knows, like, your, you know, what your take is.
I mean, I think I followed her when we were live as a thing. I was just like, here, I'm gonna go sub right now, like way back.
Yeah. That's funny.
But it's just, I don't think she ever knew what my account was. I think she thought I would be like hidden, like, you know, because a lot of people use. I was talking about this to other friends. A lot of people use like fake names or whatever. Some of them just use their name, but I don't use my name just because I don't use my name online as my username. But it's my @alaveg_2. It's me, and you can see it's me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I ever did something like that, I wouldn't tell you guys my name, just because like I know you, Manuel. You like to butcher it like for when you're talking a lot, and then all of a sudden something slips, and you're like, "Did I say that?" Like you totally forgot because it sounded natural to you.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I made it a point to not drink this particular episode. So actually it was like, I'm gonna start drinking early today, like Friday. But I'm like, no, Manuel, you cannot drink tonight on the fetish episode. You're gonna say some shit. I mean, not so much about fetishes. I was just saying some shit I didn't want to say.
Of course,
like,
yeah, I think you're doing fine.
Because it blows my mind because like whenever you watch JV, do you watch a lot of JV, either of you?
Not really.
Really?
Often, once in a while.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Because like I mentioned the feed thing taking me out of it. I could just be a me thing, but it's not that common. But there are so many times I'll be watching a JV scene, and then something will take me right out of it. And by something, I mean any myriad of a thing. Like there's a huge obsession with toys, and I don't want to knock toy use. Toy use is a very
Toys are fun. Don't knock it.
Yeah, I don't want to knock it. It's a very sexually healthy thing to do. You know, I don't want to knock toys at all. But like,
Dr. Ruth mentioned that toys in bed is good for the relationship.
Shout out to Dr. Ruth.
I know we're bringing back to Dr. Ruth, sexy doc.
She literally said that.
She did, and it's actually a very, like I said, it really is a thing. Exploring, different, things like that. It's good. But in JAV, it's a huge focus, and this is like it kind of blows my mind how heavy of a focus it is. And I'm pretty sure that's something to do with like censorship laws, because you can show a dildo or a vibrator, but you can't show a penis. So it's like, oh yeah, suck on this, and like for 30 minutes. But that's the other big thing. A lot of times these scenes exist in and of themselves. Like, it's not like they'll use a toy and then they'll move on to like having sex. They'll just use a toy for a scene. And I guess that's still fair.
So that people will be like, oh, what's that product? I want to get that product.
Yeah, I want that magic. I want that. What's the magic wand? Who makes that? Not Samsung. Whoever the fuck. The Hitachi magic wand, right?
Yeah, Hitachi.
I want the Hitachi magic wand.
I want the Sony one.
I bought a Hitachi magic wand the other day. Like the other day, I mean like recently, but like 2 months ago or something like that. Mm-hmm. To use it as a microphone prop for this show, but then we haven't done camera things. Like we don't really do camera things at all anymore, which is for the best, especially today because it's hot as fuck and I look like shit. But now I'm just like, what do I do with this?
What do I do with it? I mean, why don't you use it for like the other podcasts, the other UPs, like
I can just talk into it, or I can just use it to actually massage myself.
Yeah, just
like in a non-sexual. But yeah, just like my back.
You should just turn it on during like the thing and see if anyone hears it. And be like, what's that vibrating noise? Yeah,
like, don't ask.
Like just put it closer to the mic every time. I
have this cat paw vibrator. I have this cat paw vibrator that I bought in Taiwan, and it's a massage thing. You just press it and it vibrates. And I remember I didn't take the batteries out, and I had it in my suitcase. And I remember like every so often I'd be walking, and when I was going to or from the airport, I forgot which it was. It was from the Taiwan to Japan part though. And I remember I would hear it. I'd be like, "What's that sound?" You would hear it faintly. It'd be like, it's like, where's that coming from? And it's like, it's my duffel bag. Like I felt like I was in a JV myself, like the scenes where they give them the remote control thingy and they set them off on their ways.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's like, like in my bag. I'm like, oh shit.
Classic Manuel trying to get off while in public.
Oh man, boobs. Yes, boobs. I'm the one on the left. You're the one. You're the buff guy waiting for a shower fight. I mean, if that tracks. But no. Also in JV, you get a huge thing on kissing. Have you seen that? Have either of you noticed that? Like they'll just be obsessed with kissing, where it's all like, here's my tongue outside my mouth.
Gotta make it passionate. I think that's just what they're going for.
Did you know that people in Japan traditionally didn't kiss? Like culturally, kissing is like a very Western thing to do.
Oh, really?
No one ever talks about this because I guess it's like a weird sexual thing, and it's like you don't talk about sex in general, especially the history of sex. But apparently, kissing is a very Western thing to do.
Well,
like it's a very
why would it be, or why is it like only a Western thing to do.
When you think about it, why? It's funny because there's like two angles to this. Part of me is all like, but animals kiss, kinda like some animals do.
Yeah,
but
show
then the
affection, licking and all that.
Yeah, but the second part is it is kind of a weird thing when you think about it. When you really stop and think about it.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're
like,
right.
I'm dead serious. It really is. And I remember for the longest time, like if you go look up the history of like, you know, I'm talking about Japan specifically, but this is like a lot of Asia and a lot of like the Middle East and so on. But you see it a lot like that's another thing. Kissing in general, like especially like in places like the Middle East, it'd be more of a thing you did as a friendly thing and not really on the mouth. Or it could be even on the mouth, it would still be a friendly thing. It would be a lot of like thing you do for friends. It wouldn't be so much as part of an intimate affair. It would be all like, here's my tongue. But in Japan specifically, when kissing was introduced, like as a very like was really introduced, like I'm sure it was always there to some degree. Like somebody figured that out, like you know, like the dawn of time or whatever. But like when they got really introduced, like popularity wise, it spread through like brothels, because like people would like the Dutch you know, traders or whatever, the first people who were like really there would like want to kiss the sex workers or whatever, then it would like just spread, and then they would go to other clients like, hey, you want to try this new thing the Dutch taught us? It's like and it was considered a very dirty thing. So fun fact, if you ever wonder, I'm kind of explaining my own problem I have with the fetish and JV. You ever wonder why they focus so much on kissing? It's because until very recently, only a few generations ago, it was a very taboo thing to do. That was like wait, if you kissed your wife, it was like, wait, are you cheating on me with the prostitute kind of thing? You know,
it's like because like this is not something you do. Yeah,
like this isn't something you do with your wife. This is something you go do with your mistress.
Interesting. And now you see like in animes and other things like that.
Yeah.
And it makes you kind of like wonder, like, oh, is this generation of kids like, oh yeah, this is like totally fine.
Well, like, yeah, and at some point you forget the origin and just like, yeah, let's just like have that little lingering line of spit.
So that whole like thing about like hand holding and stuff like that, like I imagine that's like like I know people like use it as a joke. It's like, oh, in Japan like hand holding is like so whatever, you know, it's like kind of lewd. And I'm like wondering, like, why is it? Why is it? Is it just because of like touching? Like that's just something that they never really did, you know, to show affection, like things like that. Because that's like another thing, I guess, that'd be considered Western culture, I suppose.
I wonder about that too. Hand holding is a very odd one because that seems like it would also be a very normal thing. I mean, it definitely is. Like, but then again, like, what purpose does it serve unless you're leading someone somewhere?
Exactly. Yeah.
So at the same time, it's like, why would that become a coupley thing when you think about it?
So a lot of these things that like you don't see like would happen in Japan, like it kind of like starts to like make sense. Like, yeah, this is all stuff that was brought upon by like, you know, it's a Western civilization, you know, in some form.
Damn colonizers, yeah, basically. Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, okay, well.
They just licked eyeballs. By the way, Japan has a big eyeball fetish too, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, both in Eroge and other things.
Yeah. But also, I mentioned this on the UP or DTL or something like that. If you ever go to what blows my mind, if you ever go to a sex shop, don't really exist as much in the US as they used to. Mainly because media doesn't really exist anymore, home media. But like back in the day, if you went to a store that sold porn videos, typically if they sold fetish stuff, it would also be in a closed off area. It was like the X-rated of the X-rated.
Makes sense.
Because you wouldn't just want to walk in and see the scat and see the you know, the extreme bondage and so on. So that would be in its own little like kind of not walled off, but that'd be like maybe it'd be two shelves facing each other off in the corner. So like you knew what you were walking into if you went in there. Or it'd be in its own little room, like, you know, the beaded curtain or whatever. By the way, I to this day, when I was younger, there used to be video stores. I grew up when there were video stores that had those sections. You know, the mom and pop video stores that had the adult video sections.
Yeah.
And I've never been in one in my life, and I'm so upset with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my Blockbuster had one too.
Your Blockbuster? See, I only saw them in the mom and pops, but yeah, I remember like there was even a time when like me and my friends went to our local video store. It's called Video Shack, funny enough, and we went to our Video Shack, and we went into it, and like the fantasy sci-fi section was literally right outside of the adult section, and so we were there looking at movies, and I think we were trying to inch towards it, try to get in, and I think my friend did manage to get in. And then I was covering for him. I don't think it was this big of a deal. I'm pretty sure the employee there probably wouldn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah, probably not.
But like, and we weren't kids. We were like 14, you know. So he got in, and then when it was my turn, I think it was just like, oh, let's just go. And he didn't want to wait. He didn't want to look out for me, and I was so pissed. And that was the closest I ever got. And then that store closed down. So yeah. And I'm like, God damn it! I've never been in one in my life, and I'm upset by that. Asking how many licks does it take to climax with the eyeball? Asking anyways, sorry, that really threw me for a loop. But yeah, but like I was saying, what's crazy if you go to a sex shop in Japan, a lot of this fetish stuff will just be out.
Yeah,
and that
very
blows
open.
my mind. That blows my mind.
Because when you went to Japan, like everything was pretty much on the like you could see it from anywhere, like all this different stuff, right? So they're open about it. Japan's so open about it.
There was I don't want to mention who because I don't want to embarrass them, but I went with somebody. I went with somebody to the store, and they didn't know what they were going into. I literally dragged them into it, and then I brought them downstairs to where the actual videos, like because the entry level has videos, but most of it's downstairs because like the entry level has the cashier, so that takes like, a very weirdly shaped store, and that took up most of the area is the cashiers on that floor. But downstairs where they had all the videos, and I took her down there, and it was just like all these dudes just perusing the shelves, and it's nicely lit. I don't want to give it this image that it's this dang dirty place. It's actually a very nice, very trendy looking store too. There's all these tourists there, but all these guys are buying the videos, and I just dragged her down there, and she and like everyone was just staring at her, and she was so like mad at me. She was so mad at me. She would not let me take her to any store like without telling her what it was before, after, like ever since.
Animal. I can't believe you did that. You lost
I took her down there, by the way, to show her there was a panty machine down there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There was a panty machine down there, and to my knowledge, not to my knowledge, but that's the only panty machine that I know of in Japan. It still is, still the only one I know of. It's in that shop.
There's like a bunch too, like especially at like hotels, you know. Like
yeah, I'm sure there are. Yeah. Like there was a hotel I stayed at on a different trip that had a vending machine for porn. That had like just DVDs, like you just like kind of like a red box, but you keep it. It just had scenes. I assume they were just scenes. I don't think they were full movies, but like because it had like it was a little kiosk, and you could like watch clips of it, like not clips
right over there
like,
at the kiosk.
It would be the girl like you know like still clothed, but like look at my boobs, you know, and I'm gonna take my clothes off, and someone's gonna stick the thing in me, kind of thing, you know. But you would watch little trailers, and you buy the one you want, and then watch it in your room because the TV had a DVD player on the side. But I wanted to buy one just for the novelty of it, but it was this really weird system where you had to like buy a token from. I mean, the machines were all there, but you had to buy a token from the thing and then put the token, and it just felt like too many steps, and I was just like, nah. And I was staying with somebody in that room too, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they would love if I just had brought porn in the room, because it wasn't like that, you know.
I mean, way to set the mood, man.
Yeah, it's like, what? You ever see that Simpsons episode where like it fits because it was the 4th of July episode where he goes and he buys condoms and enema and like gigantic asses or whatever it was. And then Marge looks at it. She's all like Homer, whatever you have planned for tonight, count me out.
Homer, what is this? Oh my god.
But yeah, that could have been me. Because the whole idea was that he was gonna buy fireworks, but he wanted to like buy the other shady shit also. It's like, yes, can I get condoms and enema, you know, your pornographic magazine and illegal fireworks. So yeah,
yeah, of course, illegal fireworks.
But yeah, an enema. Fun fact, I'm not gonna go into this any further, but it was actually I won't name the genre, but put two and two together on your own. I was watching this YouTube video, this series one of my favorite YouTubers did on the disturbing movie Iceberg, and I decided to watch some of the movies that I hadn't seen because they see my kick back in the day. Not my kink, but my kick. I used to just like watching disturbing shit just to be like, yeah, I watched that. I'm a fucked up person, kind of thing. So I watched a couple, like, and some of the crazy like sex ones were just like, yeah, I can never unsee that. I regret every decision I made in the past couple days, kind of thing. And I won't say what they were, but you put 2 and 2 together, and it was not as simple as the 2 and 2 together. It was that plus a bunch of other bullshit. But yeah. Anyways, look up eel soup. Don't look up eel soup.
Yeah, no, don't. At your own discretion, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you know what eel soup is, but if you don't, then just let it be a mystery. Let it be a mystery. You never want to find out.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, believe you me. And I had to say what it was just to like to let it like dig at your brain for the rest of your life until you just
so
look
that
it
you
up.
remember
And then
not
you
to look it up or do look it up if someone ever brings it up.
Yeah, because it's disgusting. Anyway, I feel like we lost the goat here a bit. Weston, what is your wackiest fetish? I'm just kidding. Well, what other fetishes did you come across?
I mean, basically the stuff that you've been talking about. Like, I bumped into people who were like, "Oh, I sell this or I do that." I was like, "Really?" It's like, and they usually ask me that, like, just like adults, like, "Is this your kink?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Or they would suggest like a whole roll of stuff. I'd be like, "Okay." They're like, I'll be like, yes, no, maybe for the right price, and no.
I remember. It's hilarious because I don't know if it was. I don't think it was the FAP, but I don't know what show it was I was talking about. But I used to be really big into like underground horror movies, and I used to go to a lot of horror conventions. They're really different these days. You can't really buy these kind of movies like the way they used to anymore.
No, probably not.
But you would see a lot of it was just crazy like fake snuff films, like kind of shit like that, or like somebody. Basically, what they were, because it was somebody shooting on their camera, and it's like, oh, I'm a serial killer, and I'm killing people, but it's a horror movie. It's still plotted. Have you ever seen the movie Maniac? Kind of like a very low budget home version of that, but and I think they even remade Maniac with Elijah Wood, so that gives that some credence. But anyways, so I used to buy a lot of movies like that, but it was always to blow my mind the very thin line that you would get between these crazy underground horror movies and this crazy underground uber fetish porn. Like, like this is the kind of place you probably would find that video that, like, the movie that had 2 girls 1 cup or some shit like that,
Something worse.
Yeah. Well, 2 girls 1 cup is fake, and I've mentioned that I will never watch it again. That one time was enough, but so I'm not gonna go back and compare it and prove that it's right or wrong. But apparently,
it's right or wrong.
Have you seen that?
Some kind of moral dilemma with it.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the movie? Have you seen the clip? I should say it's not a movie.
Yeah,
the 2 girls 1 cup.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's actually part of a longer movie, but okay. Just for those who don't know, it involves a certain bodily function, and you see them make the function, and then they eat the function.
Yep.
And but I will not watch. It's actually nothing to do with morals, but I will not watch it again because I just don't want to see it again in my life. But if you watch it, apparently you can tell that it changes. So the part where she does it, that's real. Obviously, you can't fake that. Well, you could, I guess, but still, something has to happen. You're not gonna really fake that. But what they're eating is just like ice cream or some sort of like mixture of something. So yeah, or yogurt. I forget what it was, but they're not actually eating it. So it's half fake, I guess you could say. But that being said, if that's your thing, which by the way, I will shame you for that, because that's a lie. Even though it is 2 consenting adults, I guess, whatever. I'll still be like, bro, that's disgusting. But you could definitely. I'm getting really sick talking about this. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about 2 girls 1 cup anymore.
All right, just want to say that I finished the drawing.
Oh, what is this? Wait, is she
Oh.
giant?
Here, let's expand it a bit more so you can see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just corn.
Corn.
Yeah, it's corn. You see that?
Oh,
It's corn.
Draw a sexy bunny.
Another one?
Wait, did you already draw a sexy? Oh, you did draw a sexy bunny.
Yeah.
Well, draw a rip bunny coming to fight the shower guy.
Oh, okay, sure. Hold on. Give me just a second.
You can do that fast. Well, we still got like a little less than half the show here, but yeah, we'll start wrapping up the fetish news and talk about some other new shit. But yeah, if that is your thing, you can definitely watch that. But if you ever, I can't remember the name. I think it was. I want to say there was this shirt that I used to have that was like, and this was circa like, I'm sure this has been redone countless times, but I used to have this shirt like back when Two Girls One Cup was a new thing, and it was like two princesses, one castle, and it was just a shirt. It said that, and then it was like Peach and Daisy, and a
circulating.
Yeah,
I see it every so often now.
I'm sure that, like I said, but I had that as a shirt, like, and I think I still have that shirt somewhere. But yeah, I bought that shirt like and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I bought that on Hot Topic, so they were like on, they were like on top of their memes or whatever. 5 out of 7, not enough. Different fetishes and not enough to my taste. Wait, what's not enough fetishes? Well, there's other shit. Like there's fetishes I don't really feel like. There's fetishes I probably talk about in detail. Like I mentioned more in depth what Eel Soup was there.
Manuel already knows my fetish. He just doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember actually. I'm not gonna lie. I might just not remember. Well, like, cause there are things like
named after soda. Put it that way.
Oh, I know what it is now. Yeah, I know what it is. But anyways, there's the more vanilla ones, like oh, do you have a boob or an atch fetish? But once again, that's kind of more of a I think more of a preference, like we were talking about earlier. And honestly, I don't even know, like, this is a joke about me always talking about, like, boobs or whatever. I don't think I really have a preference either on that. It's like, all boobs are great. All asses are technically great too. It's like, as long as, like, it's not Two Girls, One Cup. Fun fact, I think it was another clip. It's not a movie. Another clip called Two Girls, One Finger, which I'm not going to describe what that is. But, I think that's the one that there used to be a reaction video of me watching it on YouTube, of which there are a billion of both videos. But it used to be a reaction video of me watching it, and like I mentioned this story before, but it was so funny because I'm watching it and I'm just like in shock, and most of it's just me just like staring at the screen, like like just covering my mouth, looking disgusted. But the friend who would prank me into watching it, like I didn't know what I was watching. He like turned my camera on. It's like I knew it was something bad, but I didn't know it was that. And I thought it was showing me Two Girls, One Cup. But it's Two Girls, One Finger is much worse. But
really?
Yeah, but when he showed me that, I was getting really disgusted. He vomited. He ran, like, because it's hard to explain, but like where I stayed at the time, my bathroom was right outside of my room. So you see him like gag, jump up and run out the room, even though he's the one pranking me, and because he ran and vomited. So that always made me laugh that he was trying to prank me and he was the one who got sick.
I forgot about that video.
It doesn't sound like
bad.
I'm sure it can't be too bad.
Oh no. I'll say this because this is actually honestly I think this is a bigger fetish, and I've discovered this because there's a lot of like videos for this that aren't even porn. It's just a thing. It involves vomit as well. It involves
vomit.
It involves the other bodily function, and then this one involves vomit also.
Oh, that can't be that
the
bad.
other one. I only seen the vomit one. I've never seen the other one.
So yeah, the vomit, but like apparently vomit's a really huge thing, and I don't even know if that it's definitely a fetish, but I don't know if it's even like there's I mentioned this to Molly in the past. I know it's a terrible thing to mention to Molly because for those who don't know, Molly has a very crazy vomit phobia. And I there's a series of horror movies which are just very much like torture porn type things, but they're not porn. There's not like I don't think there's even like nudity in them per se. Where like I can't remember the name of it anymore, but like it's like something vomit's in the title, so you know what you're getting into, and it's just like a torture porn thing, like like those guinea pig movies I show on the Eroge panel. It's like those movies where you just kill someone for like an hour, but vomit's involved. And it's just like, whose thing is this? Because at this point, I'm sure this is... People are weird. People are weird. It's getting dark. It's getting dark.
It's not getting that dark. What are you talking about? Light's still out.
Not talking about vomit. It's getting dark.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. That's how you know I'm like.
Sober man, yes.
It means nothing to me.
Jordan's all, Chad's over here is all like, "What are you talking about? I love vomit. Come vomit on me."
It just doesn't seem like something that I would, get all panicky about. It's like the whole, the 2 girls 1 cup thing. I'm like, oh, that's whatever. I mean, like to a certain degree, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's disgusting. I'd never do it, but I mean, I can probably eat a snack and wash it at the same time, kind of thing.
I can't remember the name of the site anymore. There used to be this OnlyFans-esque site, but it was like for cam girls. It was a very similar thing, but it was meant for sex. Because everyone knows that OnlyFans every so often keeps trying to like get rid of sex workers on their platform.
Which doesn't make sense, but anyway.
Exactly. That's all. It's ubiquitous with that, but that's they're trying to clean it up. But there used to be a cam girl one that was kind of popular, but obviously did not reach anywhere near the OnlyFans status.
What the heck was
what
that?
was that?
Weston?
Over there.
Weston? Hello?
Is he dead? What happened?
Good? What happened?
No, someone's messing with my fucking dog.
Oh shit!
I thought I heard a dog. Want to take care of that?
No, it's alright.
Okay.
No, seriously.
I thought I heard a.
No, it's the fucking people walking by and petting the dogs. It's like, yeah, that's what I need. Stick your fucking finger in the damn thing and then bite him and fucking sue us.
I was like, I heard a dog too. I'm like, wait, Wes, did your dog like bite someone?
No, somebody's
kick ass and no one touches doggo. Yeah, I mean that's some fuck shit. Like yeah.
Oh well, I mean, hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah, hopefully
it's alright.
Okay.
Just like people walking by and like
can't read signs.
Messing with
I
the
guess.
dogs. Nobody reads signs. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine.
Just making sure
that
you're
shit
okay.
Out of me.
Yeah.
No, I'm alright.
Okay.
Mainly, what happened? I'm like, oh my god, is there an... Okay, well, we're gonna have to go beat up some people in a second. But no, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
We were talking about vomit. Yeah.
Oh god,
fingers and vomit.
Yeah, I can't remember anymore. But something about vomit and shit. Trying to get my train of thought back. Talking about that series, and then does anyone remember what we're talking? Anyone in the chat? I only wave at doggos. Yeah, I only wave at doggos. Don't pet strange. Don't pet stranger dogs.
Especially during COVID. I mean, like, come on.
Anyways, I guess we'll move on from the vomit thing. Unfortunately,
yeah, I guess we will if we don't remember.
I kind of forgot what I was getting at there. Yeah, this time people beware of dog. There was by the way, I'll never forget. There was a story I read. I didn't read it because I liked it, but there was this story that we read like in middle school, and it was about this soldier who was like captured in World War II, I think. And like they kept telling him he was in America, and the only reason he realized he was in France, like German occupied France, was because there was a sign that said "Beware of dog," but in French. It was like "Beware of la chienne" or whatever the fuck that is. And I don't think la chienne is like in French, but I remember it was like it had this weird like M. Night Shyamalan twist because you don't realize that he's in France until he reads that sign at the very end of the story. And then when they come to talk to him, he only gives his name, rank, serial number. But I just remember like nobody in the class got the punchline. Not as a joke, but like got the cool ending of that story. And
right,
the teacher was very upset. Yeah, the teacher was very upset. She was all like, "There's nobody under." She even read it again, and everyone. I got it, but I didn't want to. I was that kid who was like, maybe other people were like me too, but nobody wanted to be the person who seemed like they got it because nobody else was getting it.
Yeah, right.
So we all just like, yeah, we don't get it, and she was very upset. Anyways, that's my Beware of Dog story. Beware of Dog. They told him he was in English. Oh, is that the story? Do you remember this story? What story is this? Mr. Taco knows this story. What story is this? Is it a real The guy is suspicious that they start with a nurse. The quality of the water in bath was wrong. So yeah, is this a thing? Is this a famous story? I've never heard of it before. I've never heard of it since. Not before.
I mean, it sounds like a story that's like would make sense.
Yeah, they should make a movie. There's probably like 10 movie adaptations already. I've never heard. Like I said, we read it like in I want to say it was 6th grade because I remember it had to be 6th grade because I know the teacher that I had, who was also my French teacher, funny enough, which is probably why she thought that would be a nice punchline to the story. We didn't read this in French though. But yeah, Beware of the Dog by it's Roald Dahl. He's the guy who wrote the Peach Story and Charlie and the Charlie
really?
and the Charlotte Factory.
Oh, that's awesome. I like his. Oh,
I didn't know he wrote like speculative fiction about World War II or whatever.
That sounds cool. Yeah. I think I want to watch that now.
I know that's
interesting.
Anyway, that's not really fact worthy.
So I guess we can talk about something similar to that, because it's like, you know how people like to roleplay, and it's like, how do you break away from the immersion of seeing your significant other as someone else? You know, like, you know, it's like the whole like, so I'm a cop and you're a criminal and I'm gonna book you away because, you know, this and this and that and that. You know, like in a sense, it's like kind of. I find it difficult to be able to like act something like that out, because like, you know, the person, and it's like they have to like act something out, but like they have to be like really good at acting like a totally different person. I think.
I'm not gonna lie. The few times I've experienced any kind of role play thing like that, I've always found it kind of silly, and especially because like in my head I just kind of, especially this is like a kind of me thing. I don't know if you have a similar notion, but I associate roleplay with more of like, playing. So I find it hard to like do a roleplay thingy and make it somehow sexual. So yeah, that's my issue with the whole thing and like my thoughts on it. And
Gotcha.
even when you see it portrayed in like popular media, it often still feels, unless it's like the BDSM thing, which is a whole different thing than role. It's a whole different form of roleplay. It's typically like, I don't want to say played for laughs, but it's typically also shown like to be like, oh, this is kind of silly. Like, look at this, like they use the cop one a lot too. It's like, always have a safety word though, by the way, both in role playing and BDSM situations.
Because you never know. You never know.
Have a safety word.
Banana.
Or have it be something like, have it be something really silly too. So like even if like, not to say people would forget the safety word, but it would still be very immersion breaking no matter what it is. Like, like Sasquatch, unless you have a Sasquatch fetish, and then it's like, oh no.
I was like, oh no, oh no.
Apparently that's a thing. I don't even want to tell you how I know this. But
Like
apparently that's a
thing. Like a
yeah. Well, no, I guess it is when you think about it, because people have this whole like monster fetish in general,
right?
Like monster fetishes in general. I mean, so yeah.
I think, gosh.
Have I ever told you?
Go on.
Speaking of sex toys earlier, like, I think we mentioned this in the past. Like, it's funny because, like, it's one thing when it's like a dragon dildo or a unicorn dildo, but whenever I go to a store and I see like the horse dildo and like the sheep dildo, it's like, that's kind of weird. You know what? you guys get the difference, right?
What do you mean you get the difference? What are you talking about?
No, detail. I do not understand this.
Because these are real animals at that point.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that's what you meant.
Yeah, because like a unicorn or a dragon is like, I'm just sticking something in me. But at this point, if you go out of your way to get a sheep or a horse, and I'm sure there's others, I was shocked. This is a long time. It was anytime recent. I was shocked one of the times I went to a store and I saw a sheep dildo for the first time, and I was like, I'm like, oh my god, what in like Iowa's name is this? Or I can't think of a place that farms sheep. But yeah, like like this is like some a word I'm not going to use, but yeah, not a bad word, but it begins with a B. Obviously, that thing. It's like, whoa, this is crossing some lines. I think,
Yep.
I guess it isn't because you're using a toy, but still, it's like in your head, it's like, what is this? What is this to you?
I don't get it, and like, there's that whole thing about like something being too big, to fit anything and like still be pleasurable. And it's like, it's more like a fetish thing for someone to see that happen, as opposed to like actually liking it, I think. But who knows? Maybe someone actually does like doing that kind of stuff.
A flugelhorn? What's a flugelhorn? Should I Google that? Isn't that an instrument?
Yeah, it's an instrument.
Yeah, because the instrument. Yeah.
Can you stick that up yourself?
No.
Oh, if you stuck that up yourself, that would hurt. I'm looking at it right now.
You saw a picture of what it looks like, right?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. First of all, the other end goes. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. But the other end like fans out, so there's that shit was like.
Yeah,
sorry,
no
I'm
kidding.
like,
The bell.
I'm like choking looking at this. Yeah, don't do that.
Have you seen the fuck is that instrument in Australia?
Oh, the didgeridoo.
You seen that one with the didgeridoo?
No.
Have you ever?
That's it.
Wait, they have sex with the didgeridoo?
Dude, it's funny because the dude's like, he's blowing the didgeridoo. He's like, dude, I told you to shut up with that fucking didgeridoo. And you just see that guy getting in, shoving in somebody's, you know who, with the didgeridoo, and it's two guys.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen that, but
what?
Part of me feels like I kind of want to now. I don't know why you said this.
No, it's like one of those videos, those like 30-second videos. He's like, I was like, what the heck? And then I just see a didgeridoo and two gay guys. I'm like, okay, tell him to shut up, and he didn't listen.
Told him to shut up. So that's the normal. That makes sense for the flow of that.
Does it make sense? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just people just done with instruments. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh man, well, everyone knows the iconic scene. It's not so much a scene, but the iconic line from American Pie about I don't remember what the line is exactly, actually, but the one time at band camp, I stuck a flute in my pussy, or I think that's the actual line. So yeah, I think that's the line right there. I just said it, but yeah.
Manuel, it's not 10 o'clock. So,
don't stick the flute.
Poor choice of words. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. Just clip me saying that, and there you go. I stuck a flute.
There you go. You now have fuel to cancel Manuel.
Yeah.
That's why Manuel wanted to own it. I actually did want to own a didgeridoo, so you can use that as you my fetish word. Use that
you want, man. Like to each their own.
Oh, flugelhorn is the safety word. Flugelhorn. That's actually a good one. But then again, maybe it's that person looked up a flugelhorn. They're like, hey, man. I'm just kidding. Anyway, there used to be a lot of videos of people who would play instruments out of themselves. They just put it like that, and they just stopped talking about that. I think Molly or Kelly would have talked you. Wait, talk about what? Buying didgeridoo for that? I mean, I think they would not want to talk to me at all if I did it for that. Like, they're just like, no. But Molly did talk about buying a didgeridoo earlier on in the pandemic because I was going crazy buying instruments.
Yeah, I think I would have talked you out of buying stuff like that too.
And she's like, man, you don't need a didgeridoo. It was probably for the best. So yeah, actually, it was definitely for the best. I'm sure the didgeridoo would just be in the corner, like collecting dust.
Yeah, no kidding. You already have so much other things that you have to get to first.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on from the fetishy thing a bit real fast. Talk about some other things. What do we have?
What do we have?
Oh, it's funny because around the ecchi internet thing right now, Anime Matsuri is happening this weekend.
Is it?
Yes. And for those who don't know, Anime Matsuri is a very controversial con. We'll leave it at that. In Texas. And just to give you an idea of how they always get like Vic Mignogna there. They always have his lawyer be a guest. And I think his lawyer is having a panel called The Awakening, how woke culture is destroying media. That's an actual panel that's happening at Anime Matsuri this weekend.
You mean people that actually pay attention and like,
yes.
Why people knowing things is destroying media?
But Kaho's going to be a guest there this week. Shibuya Kaho.
Oh, she is.
Who I still love to death.
Texas right now. That's right.
Yeah, that's what she's there for. But I still love her to death. I'm not gonna like brag on her choice here.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a money thing too. I bet. Like, they pay these guests.
But maybe we should think twice about it after this. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know if West. Well, I don't know how to the ear to cons are. I'm pretty sure Cats didn't hear this. But West, I don't know if you saw this. But like, I saw it because I'm on AM's mailing list. Full disclosure, we went a couple years ago. A to J did, and I swear to God, I think that the owner sees me always rant about it. Then like kind of saw I registered there at one point because we never were on their press list until after I started posting all my anti-anime Matsuri thingies, and then only I am, not any of the other press emails that we signed up with. So yeah. Anyways, That's my little conspiracy theory. But because of that, I got to see this email myself. But Anime Matsuri sent out an email recently where they're all like, Hentai Fest, which is a real event they have at this con, by the way. They have an event called Hentai Fest, like a lot of cons do, which is their like 18 plus night or whatever. It's a little mini thing during the con. And Hentai Fest announcement, we're having a real sex thing where like, and I think it's all worded in first person, like Kaho's writing it herself. But she's all like, I'm gonna give everyone like, you know, titty fucks and blowjobs, and it's gonna be a real sex experience.
That really
and me and the AM, it's really what the email said. And it's all like, me and the AM girls are gonna like, you know, give you all like the biggest sexual experience ever, and they're gonna have a contest from all the people who went, and then one of you gets a night with me, like, you know, and obviously the implication is they're gonna have sex. And it was all worded. It was worded not badly, but it was actually worded like kind of. It was obviously fake, but it was worded not bad. And
like it was actually like something professional looking kind of thing.
Yes. And it was signed, and it had like contact info too, and everything. Like it was an official email.
Who's gonna administer all this stuff? Or
it was supposed to be Kaho and the AM girls, and this flew around the internet. Obviously, Kaho was like, "That's not true." I think her manager actually, I don't think she said shit about it because I think she just wanted to ignore it. But like her manager was like, "This is not true," obviously. And I didn't really believe it was already getting shared. But what's crazy about that is that email was internal. Like, this wasn't sent by a rando. This was sent by an official AM account, which is how I got it. So
interesting.
So there's somebody within Anime Matsuri who either was just doing a prank or doing a sabotage.
Yeah.
Or maybe there was.
What is Kaho known for? Like, what does she
Kaho does do GAV, but then again, she's retired. But to be fair, I'm sure this is fake. But to be fair, she did do a couple scenes, just like play devil's advocate here. She has done some girl scenes. Like she did a scene with Hitomi after her retirement. So it's a little, you know, like
probably just for fun kind of thing.
Yeah. Hitomi Tanaka. But yeah. So I thought that was just wild to mention that. Oh, and it didn't help. The Anime Matsuri didn't reply to it at all. Like, didn't respond to it at all. I guess honestly, I think because it didn't really make that much waves because you had to be on AM's mailing list to have gotten the email. And I think they've done a good job because that's how they lie about the numbers. They do a good job of knowing that people aren't going to go. So like, that if they don't say anything, most people probably won't know that email unless they were already going and they're like, oh yeah, it's fake. So Anime Matsuri didn't say anything. But what's funny is that around the time this was blowing up, they put a post, because I guess they still are planning for Hentai Fest, like big Hentai Fest announcement coming soon. And it didn't help that was going around the same time the email was.
Yeah, I think it could have just been like one of those infamous kind of things where they got popular because of that, and then some people are going to go just to see if it's true or not, you know?
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure because nobody's... And even if they did, there'll always be some people who don't hear the replies.
Yeah.
Either out of ignorance or just because they don't check Twitter or they don't check social media. Unless another email goes out, which won't, I'm sure that everyone there's probably at least some people out there like, oh man, can't wait to get like my dick sucked by the Anime Matsuri girls or whatever.
Yeah, and then they come over there and they find out, it's like, what? I'm not gonna get any good BJ or JBs in my... God, this sucks.
You're all upset.
There's too many guys, and my number is like 45, 46.
Oh yeah, it's like the people that like it's like, you know, the amount of people that actually go for that kind of stuff is only guys, and it's like man, this kind of sucks. Like one girl, and then you get like sloppy seconds if that actually wasn't
one girl.
Not even sloppy seconds.
Sloppy 76. But yeah, there's oh man, but there's what was I gonna say? I've always felt that some cons in general, especially when it gets to the more small telling ones, have a very high guy to girl ratio. I think Anime Matsuri is one of them. Like Texas, especially Houston, does have a pretty big like local idol scene, and that's what you'll find like most of the girls. But beyond that, it'll just be a lot of guys and a lot of like some of the worst fans in the anime scene. Let's put it like that. Because a lot of those. Well, I don't mean in Texas, but I mean in Anime Matsuri. So gotcha. that con already has like, you know, a very high sausage fest ratio. Gotcha.
But
But then again, none of the idol girls don't go there anymore because they all boycott it. So now it's probably be like 80% guys. Anyways, HentaiCon. HentaiCon was funny because like that had a very high guy ratio, and I remember I was pointing out, I'm like, hey, I brought like, you know, because it was like I brought like, I forgot who they were exactly. I wouldn't want to name them all off anyway, but I'm like, hey, I brought like, you know, my share of girls. Like, why is everyone else doing their job? like if every guy brought 3 girls with them, because that was what I brought, or, you know,
you'd have beaten the ratio.
Yes. Because technically they all came as press or panelists, and they were all girls. So I'm like, there, I brought 3 girls. Why can't every other guy bring 3 girls?
Because they don't got 3 girls to bring.
So yeah, I was just like, what the fuck, guys? Come on. Which is probably, anyways, that's the story for the day. But yeah,
in here.
That's probably why people wanted to party with us. Like, oh look, there's actually girls in this room. But anyways,
that sounds
anyway. Oh man, that sounds terrible. That would require me to know 3 girls exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how everyone else felt over there.
That would require me to know 3 girls. 3 girls.
I don't even know 1.
Real fast, I wanted our JAV recommendation of the week will be. I wanted to bring back this little segment because we skipped it for the past 2 weeks. Hitomi Tanaka. We've mentioned her a lot. We never actually put her as our pick of the week because I think she's quasi-retiring. I don't know if anyone's really picking up on that on the JAV world, but
I thought she was already retired.
No, she isn't. And she's been saying that she would retire either when she's like tired of it or when she gets pregnant. Not when, but like if, or more likely. She wouldn't want to like keep doing, because some girls like will ride out the pregnancy and then like they come back as like breast, what do you call it? Breast milk, the milk fetish people or whatever. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, so they come back as that. But she would just retire. But first of all, people are a little like, people don't really know how old she was when she started. Typically, the ages they give when they start their lives, because they're usually older, they age younger. But she's been in the game for like 14 years.
Long time.
Even at the best of things, like not to say like this has an age range, because especially in Japan, they have pretty old, JV actresses. But you know, she's getting up there in years and she was going to retire. But as in nearing middle age, which beyond what most adult entertainers are like would keep going into, like at least the performing side of things. But anyways, she opened an OnlyFans at the start of the pandemic, and obviously that's been kicking off a bit. And I think she does some streams, not on Twitch, not like that, but she does some streams here and there on some other sites. And I think she was contractually obligated to finish like a contract, but there's been not OnlyFans. Through her like JV things, through her movies. Oh, gotcha. But I don't think that she has any new in the pipeline. Because it's hard to explain, but they still do releases for JAV things, like as if they're releasing an album or something like that. Where they're, especially for somebody as big as Hitomi, they'll like there's like a 6-month basically period from when they film it to when it gets released. And typically you're like kind of always working on the next thing because of that. But I think she's not working on anything anymore. So even if she were to come back, she's going to have a drought of maybe almost a year, if and when she does. And I think there might be 1 or 2 more videos still in the pipeline for her old company. But yeah, I think she's retiring. And it's not really, like, it's kind of rumblings on some parts of the internet if you got your ear to the ground to those kind of things. But then again, like you said, some people are like, didn't she already? Yeah. Or like, and technically she's still doing OnlyFans, and her OnlyFans, she titties out. So she's still doing adult content there, if that's what your thing is. That's money going straight to her.
One of the things too is that, like, I guess she was part of like an older generation of people that knew her. So it's like, if she were to do anything now, like, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't like sell as or be as put out there, because there are other girls and other people out there that people know now. So it makes sense if she retires like soon.
It's funny because I have a friend who's like a big fan of hers, like gotta collect them all. He has like every scene of hers. I know that friend isn't me, but like I do like that I can go to him whenever I want a scene. But fun fact, that's actually the person I went to like when I would bring movies to like watch in the hotel rooms. I'd be like, what's your best movie? And I would bring that and I'd play that in the room or whatever, just for fuck's sake. But anyways,
we did that last time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and it was like from him I got because he's like, and I was even telling everyone, look, this is one of our first movies that you can't really find anymore easily on the internet, because Japan has this law where porn companies can't sell videos past 10 years, or is it actually? I think it's 5, but
which is weird.
And like, obviously it's like, haha, the internet never forgets, but you'd be surprised when it comes to things like porn. Unless it's somebody like my friend who really archived everything. And a lot of people who do that are kind of like, act like dragons. I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like, this is mine and only I have it. They're not the kind of
like
people
golems,
who
you mean?
Golems, that's a better way to phrase it. Thank you. I couldn't think of a way. They're like golems, exactly. We're like, my precious. It's like, no one can have this. And these people aren't really like the people who would go upload the whole video to like, first of all, you can't do that to Pornhub anymore, but they wouldn't upload it to like X videos or whatever. So yeah, some movies for especially some of the lesser known actresses or even the mid-level ones are like lost. And there's some scenes that are hard to find if Hitomi's as well. But I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, so it does kind of work. It does kind of work, which is weird. Even though everyone laughs about like, oh, everything's forever on the internet. It really isn't. And to be fair, this stuff wasn't technically on the internet to begin with. People just put it there illegally. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No. That's for sure.
So it's a different story if this was on a legit streaming site and then they tried to take it down. Like, no, that would probably last for a lot longer. But no, this was always an illegal upload system. So of course that's not really gonna last forever. But yeah, Hitomi's great. I'm kind of sad if she retires because I have been trying to like for aesthetic reasons, and I've always been talking about wanting to do a JV panel, and I kind of want to when cons start up again. I don't know what topic, but something JV related, and there's not really somebody like else with her assets, shall we say, to take over in the scene right now. And I've been trying to look into it. You should see my Google search history, but I've been trying to like find someone else like her, and it's just like, yeah,
it's a rare condition.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For those who don't know, she has one of the. There's a word for it where like your breasts keep growing.
Yeah.
It's a very odd word to say, so I probably couldn't pronounce it even if I saw it. And one of the characteristics of that is that like a very undefined areola, and like usually one's bigger than the other. Both things she has. And yeah, you can so yeah, she's leaving a big void, and there's no pun there, but she's leaving a big void in this scene if she leaves, and I'm kind of like, oh, that's sad. One of the greats has left, like Kaho. When Kaho left, I never liked her videos because she was always doing the more like crazy scat stuff. I shouldn't say scat. She did a lot of pee fetish videos, and no, it wasn't squirt. No, first of all, I will fight you on that because there's a whole topic on that. But I mean pee in this case. I don't mean just squirt. So yeah, though I will fight you on that. Squirt isn't pee, by the way. But anyways,
no.
But without going into that argument, yeah, there you go. Hyper. That might be it. I don't know. I could have sworn that it's longer than that. But anyways, there's a similar thing, I think, where you don't have any breast tissue, but she has the one where it just keeps growing. And hers isn't that bad. There's some people who have to like keep getting breast reductions, and then they just keep growing. And it's like, even with the breast reductions, where it's like a massive issue, like a horrible life thingy. So I think as far as she goes, I think she has it not as bad. I won't say as good.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because like it's a disorder. I don't know how happy she is with it. Yeah, I'm sure she's fine with it.
It's like the guy that has the. Like,
I think that's the one. I think it's gigantomastia, whatever that is, gigomastia or whatever. I can't read it. See, I told you I couldn't read it.
There's that guy with like the massive. He has like a massive penis, and he has to wheelbarrow it around, and like it's an actual like. I think it has like that same issue with that particular body part where it just keeps on growing, and there's nothing he can do about it. Unless that's like yeah, and it's kind of like scary when you think about it too. Because your skin just keeps on stretching, expanding. I don't think your skin grows.
It's not pliable, yeah.
Yeah. It's like what's happening on the inside of that part that keeps expanding. Really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, she has that, but I think she's retiring. We'll see if she keeps coming up. But yeah, who knows? I love watching her scenes because they're really fun to like to just put on the background. It sounds weird to say, but I've done that at a couple cons, so it's a fun thing. Fun fact, I remember one time Molly was like, what are you guys doing in like what are you guys doing right now? Like, she messaged me like, what are you guys doing in the room? Come hang out. And I sent her a picture of one of the roommate people. She knows who it is. I forgot his Zach. No one really knows if he's not on any streams here, but like, I'm like, Zach, go pose by the TV. And it was a TV where he told me he's like, doing her thing. And I took a picture of him, presenting the TV, and I sent it to Molly, and she was like, and then she didn't come over.
But it scared her away, man.
I know.
I can't really imagine why.
It's like we're watching porn together, just a bunch of guys watching. There were girls in the room, but it probably looked like it was just like me and Zach watching porn alone together. And yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning because it didn't happen. There was word on the street she was gonna be a guest at a few cons.
I'm sad about that.
Yeah, before the pandemic, so it's not like because of the pandemic. But yeah, she was gonna be a guest at a few cons and it didn't happen. I mean, she's a guest at like the adult cons, but that's a different thing. I'm talking about like the hentai cons of the world and whatever. But in fact, I can't remember the name of it. There is another hentai e-con, like a hentai con, I forgot the name of it, that's going on in Texas pretty soon. That apparently is legit. So I kind of wanted to go to it, but it's so last minute I'm not gonna be able to. But
when you say econ, you mean back. It's like a what does that mean?
I said hentai e as in like hentai with the Y. Like I forgot the name of it, but it's a hentai themed con. It's very much like hentai cons. There's not a lot. Obviously, there's no Japanese guests, but there's like a lot of like lewd cosplayers. To be 18 plus only. So yeah, a lot of ecchi and hentai art and vendors and so on. And I think like some of my friends are going to be going to it. But I think it's in September, and I found out about it now, like a couple days ago. So I'm like, yeah, I can't go out to Texas right now.
I mean, Texas is also like bloody hot too. It's real
I wouldn't want to be in Texas. Yeah.
I had a. Oh my gosh! Well, what is that one part of Texas where like people go to and there's a lot of things to do? Is it San Antonio?
It's like also, but yeah, San Antonio, Houston, wherever. But yeah, what about San Antonio?
I'm just saying like, there's like nothing to do out in Texas other than like the cities, like the.
Well, yeah, there's like 4 big cities and a lot of nothing. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that because the Great Plains of Texas, like when you leave El Paso. There's like hours of like just nothing until you hit another place. I know you can be like, that's any state, but Texas is so flat. It's like flat.
Right.
It's like you go insane after a while, and then a deer jumps out of nowhere or something. I saw a deer on the road, and I'm like, where did that deer come from? It's like there's nowhere for it to hide.
There's nowhere for it to hide.
Yeah, I'm like, but somehow that deer still jump scared the fuck out of us when we were driving to Texas one time. But yeah, and then pretty much if you're not in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, or like Austin, there's like nothing to do. Those are the cities, and that's it.
Well,
Texas is huge.
If you do decide to last minute go to it, don't invite me, and good luck. Stay hydrated.
I'm definitely not gonna. I don't think I'll go. I'm definitely not gonna go. What's your manga recommendation? Do you have any feet fetish mangas you want to recommend?
No, but because it's hot, I only had like a sweating one.
A sweating one? What is it?
It's so basically it's I put it up 299080.
Oh, you did 299080. Let's look this up.
I feel like I recommended this before, but I don't remember.
299080.
Is this the right one? I hope I picked the right one. Yeah, I'm like looking through all my stuff. I don't have any fetish things.
Click on the wrong one. Wait. Oh, 299. What is it?
080.
Oh, okay.
I should probably just remove the little. I force a habit. I put the line in. Oops.
Okay, it came up. I kept typing in the wrong site. By the way, I've mentioned this before, but like. Sweat lines on hentai manga like piss me off.
Why?
I just can't. Okay, I get it if the theme is hot, but there are times when you'll see it just on anything, and it's like I get that sex could be a very sweaty affair. I get this. I'm not saying that like if there's the joke in there. It's like like not doing enough work if you ain't sweating. I get that, but. There are times when there's so much of it. I'm like, okay, this is getting.
Yes. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about? You see it a lot in hentai, and it's like, oh my god, does the artist have a sweat fetish? Which is probably a thing.
Probably. I mean, you only ever see that with the like the older ones, with the really thick lines, and that's when it gets like really like aggressive with that amount. Nowadays, like they kind of make it like small because they understand like, oh yeah, you don't really need that much. Like, it's not necessary. It takes away from what you're actually like. Just imagine like you make this like nice body and like you have everything, and all of a sudden you're throwing all these like other lines and things into it.
A sweatish instead of fetish, unlike he told me to go.
You know the worst thing I hate is when they add too much text to it, like you're expected to like beat off to it and read at the same time.
It's funny because when I was younger, I mentioned this before. When I my first hentai experiences, when I found all those comic books on the street, those comics I mentioned, there was a series Blue Eyes by Toru Nishimaki. Those, and there was a few other Japanese series that this comic publisher used to publish. They would translate the sound effects, and like that's pretty uncommon these days. Like a lot of times they'll just leave them. Maybe if they translate them, they might translate them with an asterisk at the end of the story. But this one would like redo the art and put it in English, like, you know, like thump 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 thump. It'll be the word thump 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 or thump thump thump. One of my favorites, it took me right out the fucking thing, was like when they're having sex, it was like fucka 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 fucka, and I'm like, I don't know if that was the sound effect that was actually in the original manga or not, but I'll never forget that the sound effect was fucka 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 fucka.
I knew I actually one of the streamers that I watched, they told me that their sister is a typesetter, and so like she would have to do all of that stuff, you know, take out all of the sound effects and like put in the like the words that they would think would make sense there. And when you think about it, it's like they're just sound effects. Like, and if you understand like a little bit of hiragana or you know, any Japanese of anything, you'll get it. Like, oh, it's like ka 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 ka. Like, you know, that makes more sense as a sound effect as opposed to like thump 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 thump, or you know, like kuru kuru kuru, like for cars passing by.
It's also a difference in aesthetics of the art, because a lot of times you don't see sound effects repeated so many times in American comics. So seeing them like always in such repetition, especially when they're having sex, just strikes me as so weird. Oh yeah, no kidding. How do you? I prefer it when they don't bother translating it. The more, wait, what is this? The onomatopoeia.
Yeah, exactly. One of the, so like there, you know, there's this like one really good one where it's just like, you know, there's not a lot of like text or anything, maybe like a thought bubble here and there, but it's just like, yeah, you like this, like the doujin is for the art, and like it can still tell a story in between it without having to say too much. And like those are the ones that I appreciate more than like someone that has to like give their whole life story in like 2 pages, and like they're doing it like what is it missionary position, or like doing it like cowgirl riding style. I'm just like, dude, like I can't take you seriously like this. So that's my take on that.
Just a singular thwip or snicked.
Like exactly.
I can't imagine if you're actually having sex with someone in real life and all you hear in your head is like fucka.
I'm going for it. It's like you're saying it out loud too, so that you can keep the rhythm.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the girl would appreciate that. It's like
it's like, what are you doing? It's like you do it too? I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my god. You guys are just both there shouting fucka.
Exactly, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that'd be weird.
I'm counting 1, 2, 3. Fucka. Wait. I'll stick again. Do it again. Fucka. Damn it, we keep going. I'll stick again.
Oh my god, there's oh man, there was sorry, I can't stop laughing. There was this time, I mentioned this before, but there's many stories like this. There was this time I was staying in a hotel room, and I was actually staying there with my girlfriend too, so it was kind of just funny too, but like my then girlfriend, I should say. And there was these people in the room above us who were like fucking like animals the whole time we were there in this room. And But I remember but usually it was more of a normal like thud, 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 thud. But I'll never forget there was one night where they were just really going at it, and it was just like, God damn, this is so distracting. It's like we weren't doing anything. We were just like watching TV. But it was like so distracting. It's like, oh my God, when are they gonna stop? And then they stopped, and we're like, oh man, thank God. And then out of nowhere, like about like a few seconds later, it was just like thud, like one really hard one. And it was like, whoa!
What is going on? It's like it body slammed him.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know if that was sex anymore. If he just like, after he was done, he's like, yeah, and then like power bombed him.
I wonder who did it though. I just wanted. That's what I'm like curious about.
But it was just so funny. There was like a delay and then one last loud thud, like louder than anything that come before. Oh man. Giving her the people stick.
The people. It's so dumb.
Oh my God.
All right.
That was yeah, let's wrap this up. What do we call we have 3 pieces here. I think we covered everything pretty much. I wanted to mention real fast that remaking Do You Like Horny Bunnies? That's the Eroge recommendation of the week. Just USA is remaking Do You Like Horny Bunnies? I was looking to wrap this up anyway myself because it was really hot, and I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
It's that level of heat. I don't know where you're at, but it's actually just 78. It went down, but it's that level of heat right now where even not doing anything, even having the fans on me, I feel the sweat just slowly form. It's disgusting.
Yep, it does definitely feel like that.
We have shower buddy. We have foot.
Corn.
I'm trying to think of an F name, huh?
Foot corn.
People horn. Foot corn.
Yeah.
Foot corn, and we have Vegeta Bunny over there. Oh
you
man,
like
he's like a Dragon Ball character.
That's what I was like. I was like thinking like, oh man, he's really starting to look like so Dragon Ball-ish. It's like okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of Sephiroth.
It does like Sephiroth actually.
Oh my God.
It's like Final Fantasy for me.
Let me see what's on the list.
Gonna make this a
yeah, that's
sticker.
all the shit right there. I guess I'll save that news for another thing. But yeah, this is the art. That's the manga recommendation. What do we have going on the rest of the week? There's tomorrow's DTL.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's gonna be the funnest DTL I think you'll ever watch because I think there'll only be 3 of us, and I think that I know we're using a new format, and it'll basically be a shooting the shit like what I do with Warren and Pleiades, but it'll be Cowley instead of Warren, and we will have presentations. So at the very least, we don't have to worry about running late. We'll probably just like go really slow, and we'll definitely wrap it before 10. Callie might do 2 presentations, so tune into that. It's technically remake week, but we're gonna stretch that out longer. And mine isn't a remake tomorrow, but it was supposed to be the redo week. But there's not enough people to really make that make sense, so we're gonna just stretch it for another week. So that's tomorrow, 6 p.m. Tuesday's UPZ will be myself, Hina, and Warren. On that, we're talking all sorts of video game nonsense like what we're playing over the summer and what we've been playing recently. And just other video game memories and other bullshit. And then there's no gaming stream at all next Wednesday. But Friday is going to be Drink Talk Roll. So yeah, that's everything for me. Weston, what's new with you? Are you streaming anytime soon?
Yeah, pretty much. Since I got a new capture card, I've been streaming my Nintendo Switch. So if you want to catch me, the Twitch stream is twitch.tv/Wesley Saxon. It's WESTLYSAXON. Check me out. I'm going to be playing my Mario games pretty soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I watched you play Mario 3 with that one. I watched like all that Mario 3 one, and I watched you playing Shantae, I think, one other time. Not Shantae, the Monster World one. That looks like Shantae now that I think about it.
Monster World one?
Monster World.
World?
It has a similar... Has a similar Middle Eastern, Arabian-esque looking girl character in that one.
Right.
So it looks, in my head, I was thinking Shantae, but I'm like, wait, that was Monster World, wasn't it? But anyways, yeah.
No, it's the same company that made.
It is. It is. It's a remake, so yeah, it is the same company. So that makes a lot. They probably were referencing that when they made Shantae, I'm sure. But yeah, I saw your Mario stream was fun because like you were trying to do all the secrets. You got the coin ship and other shit like that. So yeah, I'll watch those. And I keep calling you Warren. What's wrong with me today?
Oh my god.
It's because you're sober. You're not drunk.
I know. I need to get. See, I'm glad I wasn't, because I'm sure I would have told everyone what eel soup was, and I would have gone on a lot further on those crazy wacky fetishes.
Next time.
What's will you be streaming at all anytime soon, KatSoup?
Oh, soon. Once I finish the VTuber model, which is, to be honest, I'm not gonna keep it a secret anymore. I've been like working my ass off, and I'm almost done with it too. So, but I guess well, I don't think I'll be streaming. I don't think that model will be streaming until August. Yeah, now that I think about it, because I still have to set up the layout, overlays and stuff like that for the stream, and do a bunch of art, and I think I have to do emotes too. Now that I think about it, huh? Yeah, I think maybe. I don't remember if I can just do that or if I have to wait until we get the subscription thing and whatever going. But we'll see. Yeah. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. Oh boy. And then I have to make my model, which you know what? I'm actually going to be streaming me making my model and drawing it up and rigging it too. And hopefully I get to do that with Callie. So that'd be cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Check that out when that ever happens, within this month. Check that out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out, and if not, just watch it anyway if he's streaming this model. But yeah. The next FAP I wrote on the notes to be 22nd, but I just looked at the calendar right now. I cannot tell time. It's actually on the 23rd. Fun fact: the 22nd, which is what the notes say, is the 22nd is A to J's technical anniversary. It's the 7th year anniversary. That was the 7 years ago. That was when me and my then girlfriend came up with the idea. Well, it was more than us back then, but we came up with the idea, and then it kind of stayed dormant until a few months, because we broke up right after that. So yeah.
Nice. So you're just riding off of her idea. Cool.
Yeah, it's actually funny because there was a brief. We actually have talked. And we're I don't say we're friends, but we definitely we don't hate each other anymore. But there was a period there where I was always wondering. I'm like, what if one day she's like, hey, I came with A to J too, or So yeah, but yeah, that's not going to be a thing. But there was a fear in the early years though. So yeah, but the 23rd is when the next FAP is. The 22nd is our anniversary. One of them, technically our real anniversary. I like this idea better because it's a floating anniversary. I like it to be Thanksgiving, because we launched the site on Thanksgiving of that same year 7 years ago. So and it floats because whatever that Thanksgiving day was 7 years ago, we could just say it's Thanksgiving. It's always on a Thursday. Kind of thing.
Cheating, huh? Cheating.
Yeah, and it's I'm thankful that A to G hasn't imploded. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. Well.
Thank you all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, then like, comment, subscribe. There's been a lot of uptick on YouTube. I think we've been getting a lot of followers here from YouTube. So just check out our schedule if you're following us from there. So yeah, and that's it.
Also, shout out to our Patreon people.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, shout out to our Patreon people. Shout out to Ed, Kenneth, and Joshua. If you want to support us, so go to patreon.com/ShitDigitConnections and toss us some money there. All this shit's getting expensive, especially because we're talking about paying for another service to do the streaming for us. Not the streaming for us, but Weston saw it. But basically another kind of OBS type option, but a very simple one that Callie and so on wants to use. Callie and Pleiades want to use. So there might be more money flowing into this endless sea of A to J. So yeah, if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/ADJConnections. If you can't do that, that's fine. Just keep watching our shit. That's the best way to support us in general. And
like, share, and subscribe to our.
Yeah. If you share, I will strip.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
And you can't take it down because it's a VOD.
I know, it's penis. But anyways, no, that's it. Thank you, Weston, for coming back. 3Pete. Next time we'll probably have the other guest on that I mentioned that we were gonna have a while back. And I don't know what the topic will be, but we'll figure something out.
It'll be something good.
It'll probably be something cosplay, because I think that was another topic I was throwing around with her.
Oh, that's a good topic to talk about.
So yeah. And and we'll obviously tie that into the fappy stuff and all the millions of FGO porn out there. But anyways, Sorry for that. That's sorry for 2 weeks from now if we decide to do that. Thank you everyone. Peace out. Love you all. Good night.
Night.
Thank you very much. Night.